Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Lumsy. I'm back again with another video. Today's video is how to make corset loops. As you can see, if that's what you're looking for, continue watching till the end to see how I made this corset loops. It's very simple, it's beginner friendly. Just pay attention and you'll grab it. If this is your first time coming across my channel, consider subscribing and turn on the notification bell icon so you don't miss any of my sewing tutorial. And to my returning subscribers, thank you for your continuous support. Now let's go into today's sewing tutorial. I'll be using the back panel I made for my Victorian corset, and that's what we're going to be using. This is the center back here. I will take away some inches away from the center back inwards. On the upper part, I'm going to take away 1.5 inches. I'll mark that. And on the lower part, I'm going to take away 1 inch. I'll mark that and I'll connect the two lines. It will give me something that looks like a V shape. So you go ahead and do the same thing. So it will just have a tapered opening. Next, I'm going to be marking 1/2 inch inwards. This 1/2 inch is for you to have the space for the loops. This, you see this from here to here, the allowance is 1/2 inch. I'm going to mark it here. So this is going to look this way. You see how it's looking like a V shape. Yes, that's how it's going to be. So the space between here and here should be 1/2 inch. So I will mark 1/2 inch there. I'll take that all the way down and connect it. So you go ahead and connect it. By the time you're done connecting it, it will now be 2 inches on the upper side and 1.5 on the lower side. So I'm just going to fold this in now. That way I have the bodice panel, the back bodice panel alone. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out from my fabric, from my main fabric and my lining piece. So here is it. After adding all the sewing allowance, I've gone ahead to add 1/2 inch here and 1 inch at the side. So I have also cut out the same thing with the lining piece. Now we're going to go over to making the loops. So on my boning channels, before I go ahead with that, here I have cut out exactly the same with the corset, but I have left 1 inch at the lower tip like that. If you can notice it, this is 1 inch here. At the upper side, I've also left 1/2 inch. So here I have the two of them, and I have marked on the bodies of the boning 1 inch all through, just 1 inch spacing all through, as you can see how I have marked it. So go ahead and mark it the same way. Now I'm going to make a bias. You use this bias. The bias I have 1.5 inches. So we'll use this. As you can see, is 1.5 inches. I'm going to go to my machine, fold this into 2 and sew away 1/4 inch. So I'll go and sew 1/4 inch to all the bias pieces. After I was done, this is how it looks. As you can see what I have sewn out. Can you see? It's just 1/4 inch that I sewed out. So I'm going to use my safety pin and turn this out. Now after turning this out, see how neat it's looking. It's always good if you're using bias to make this. So next I'm going to cut this into 2 inches, as I'll cut out the strips in 2 inches. First I'll cut away this allowance here, and then make 2 inches bias. So I'll just go ahead and cut out pieces of this. Next I'll go to my machine and I will align this to the boning channels. So at this boning, I'll just go ahead, place this like this and turn it over and place it like that. Can you see what I did? I'll just go ahead and sew in the inner part, this inner side. That's the side I'm going to sew. So I'll go ahead and do that to all of the spaces that I have marked. Just from the beginning of each 1 inch, you place it, turn it over and sew it in, and do it to all of them. If you're still watching and you haven't given this video a thumbs up, do go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. So after I was done, this is how it's looking. Very, very neat, right? Good. I love it myself too. So I'll go ahead and place this on the main bodice. So you go ahead, turn it like this. Can you see the way I have turned it? You turn it like this and fix it. Make sure you leave 1/2 inch sewing allowance this way, and then 1 inch sewing allowance at the edge, and then you go and stitch it along the edges that it has been stitched before. So after stitching it on the fabric, look at how it's looking. So next thing I will do is to use the lining piece and sandwich this like this. So first I will now close the neckline, turn it over and understitch it, and then I'll come back to you. So after I was done, this is how it looks. The next thing, I'm going to turn this over like this, making sure the allowance faces the lining. I'm going to turn it over this way and go to my machine and stitch on the line that I've already stitched before. Can you see the lines? Yes, I'll go ahead and stitch on it, or go inside a bit, teeny bit. So after I was done, this is how it looks. I'm going to turn it over to show you guys what we are up to. Can you guys see how neat this is? Yeah, so with this you will do your loops very, very well. It will come out very neat. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and sew on this boning piece to the lining, on the lining side. So you go and secure it on the other side of the boning. After I was done, this is how it looks, finally looks. You see how it looks? Now the second line is not on the main fabric. Can you see? Yes, that's how you do this. So you go ahead and do it to the other side of the back. And we have come to the end of today's video. Bye bye.